It is unlike any other type of racing. I've done a lot of different types of racing at all different levels, and nothing is like this.
We are in it deep now. I love it, it's awesome. Right between sick week and drag week is a period of my life, and between this sick week and then drag week again is another period of my life. It's just waiting on the next one.
In 2016, the first one we did, I kind of convinced him to do it. We had a blast, and I was hooked.
Got my, suction cup down there. We're good to go.
All I think about for that car is next drag and drive. Next drag and drive.
Like, it's just a huge friendship essentially between everybody, and you don't really get that until you do it once. And once that happened, then I was kind of hooked, and like that's all I really cared about. Fuck yeah, guys! My name is Chuck Stefanski, part owner of Big 3 Racing here in Hinckley, Ohio. For Sick Week 2024, I debuted my 1981 Pontiac Grand Le Mans Safari wagon. It was just so much fun all the time. Even when there was bad times, having 3 other friends with you just makes it that much better, even in the exact same car. We all had headsets, so like the whole time we're joking around, and it was just a good time. Favorite thing about it is I built this car for me. I built this car the way I wanted it.
I think like the focal point of that car is it's badass, the color's cool, like did a great job on it, but I think the focal point are those bull horns sticking out the side, and that's what draws everyone to that car. And I'm excited to actually have a small part in that.
My original plan from when I first said I was doing zoomies was to do exactly the way they look now. However, Rick said it was too difficult.
It's near impossible to make headers look symmetrical, especially in a car that's not symmetrical. And Chuck, being who he is, had to have them look symmetrical.
We did try everywhere else. I knew there was better options, especially for fumes. I said, let's just do what I wanted in the first place. And it's pretty much 2 sets of headers in one.
And there's still a couple tubes that he's not real happy with, that I just want to strangle them. I'm like, they're fine.
Like, I just don't want to get it too close here.
We also had to fabricate some pretty killer mufflers for him, because you don't normally just drive zoomies on the street like that, and a big block with a big Pro Charger hanging off the front of it. For what it was, we passed many cops and did not go to jail, and we 100% should have went to jail.
I think this was something a little bit different, and this car is a little bit more special to me. Having it so long ago and then finding it to buy it back, I think that's kind of in a nutshell why we're campaigning it and trying to go 6s in a heavy shoebox.
So I really don't prep my car in probably the 2 or 3 weeks beforehand. It's usually just putting it together. It should take months of preparing and testing. I was more concerned about making sure Chuck makes it, and it was to the wire, in typical Big 3 fashion.
I had the hood painted the same day we left. I put it on, we were still putting fingerprints in the paint.
Bob Hess, Big 3 Racing. I do the engines here and random other things like fixing problems. When I was getting a Mustang, like what I wanted to do, I knew I wanted to do a Gen 3 Hemi because I'm a Chrysler guy. Can't argue with the Fox body. Everybody puts LSs and everything else into them, and I think the Hemi's a better platform than like the LS. So wanted to kind of prove that, I guess.
It's This car's always fine. It just runs. It doesn't overheat. It doesn't have problems.
Had an injector clog up once. I mean, I can't think of anything else.
I think he had to top the oil off once. I don't know if he even changed oil before we left. Full reliable, we call it. And it's fast as hell.
I'm worried about everybody else's stuff, mostly Chuck being a fresh build and no street miles.
Before we set out on this adventure, my crew, along with other people, asked me how confident I am in the car. I said, completely untested car. I said, I'm about 75% sure it'll work on the racetrack, and about 10 to 15% sure it'll work on the street. Everything was brand new. I had the tires, even the street tires, I never had tested. I just mounted them, made sure they were balanced, put air in them. Hopefully they fit. If not, we got hammers. We'll make something fit.
But we have a no man left behind type of rule, so we exhaust every option to make sure that we could all make it to the next point, which meant none of us got sleep, which is okay. Mostly. Still recovering.
I mean, we'll start with day one. During the burnout, I actually threw the alternator pulley, bounced down to about 300 feet down the track, get back to the pits, and I don't have a nut to put the alternator pulley on. So never really driven it on the street prior to this, but it didn't want to turn, it didn't want to stop. Like, it was just terrible, way too much weight. And say, well, the only thing we could do if we want to keep going is bolt the ProCharger back on. It was never really tested by ProCharger, never really necessarily condoned that we could do this and drive it 1,000 miles. It's not necessarily made for that. However, now we say that it is because we did it. Just outside of Tampa, pulled into a gas station and went to go shut the car off, went to go turn on the interior lights, and the whole car just died. We learned that my PMU was bad. By this time it was super late, pretty much calling it quits. Like, it was real rough. For whatever reason, I decided, let's just pin this thing enough just to get it going. I made a mess of wire. It looked like a little bowl of red spaghetti, and got the car going down the road and to a hotel. We made it to Gainesville with about 45 minutes to turn the car around, which takes us 2 hours normally, but we got it done, and I still ran a 7-second pass.
And Jimmy says, you guys just put on a clinic, but what people don't really see, it was a complete circus to get to there, and then when the lights come on, well, all of a sudden we're professionals and know what the hell we're doing. We're all in the lines together, and it was just 1, 2, 3, boom, boom, boom.
It was awesome. Like, I don't think that we've ever actually, all three of us, been down at the top of the track at the same time.
It's like, man, we just kicked ass. We kicked butt, or whatever, you have to edit that, but.
When we pulled into the track the next day, it was like, okay, we could do this.
After that, I just kind of pressed on, and I just let it go. I mean, 70 mile an hour, 75 mile an hour down the highway. Because I know I needed to get to Orlando. Once I could get to Orlando, even if I pushed it there or coasted it there, I knew I would be good. So as I seen like 5 miles come up or 4 miles, I'm like, okay, that's pushing distance. Half a mile, I'm like, I can definitely talk my crew into pushing this car into the parking lot.
We're here now. We can now blow the fucking car completely up and not be stranded, so we're good.
We put plugs in it, turned it around, and did what we normally do, and it went to pass, and decided, I looked at the data log, everything looked okay, and I made the decision to let's just see how fast we can go with the combination we have currently on it. I did a 746 at 185. Couldn't turn in the slip, but I was able to say I was the fastest out of all of us, at least, so I was okay with that.
The only thing I know right now is change the shocks and where are we getting a bag of ice? Like, that's the only thing I even know what to do right now.
He doesn't understand what he's going to do after
I'm going to
this.
be on my way to work and I'm going to be grabbing 2 bags of ice. I'm going to show up to the shop with 2 bags of ice.
To say that I'm excited about how well it worked and it met my expectation, it exceeded my expectations. The fact that it finished was the greatest victory ever, let alone having a I think it was a 771 average, or, you know, to have an average that quick in a brand new car, you know, even after all the passes I made, I only had 10 passes on the car. So to go 740s on the 10th pass, it doesn't happen. Especially a build that was done in pretty much 7 days. But anybody that does anything like this with racing, it's never fast enough. The fact that I'm already wanting more, it's never gonna end. At some point, I guess we build another car.